All right, so you've dreamed of growing those absolutely stunning classic roses, right? But you live somewhere like Taiwan. And yeah, you know it can feel like a serious uphill battle. Well, today, we're going to break it all down. This is your complete guide to not just helping your roses survive, but to actually master growing them in a hot, humid climate.
Okay, so let's just get right to the heart of the problem. It's this right here. It's this huge divide. Roses, by their very nature, are dreaming of a life that's cool and dry. But in Taiwan, what do they get? They get hot and sticky. And understanding this fundamental conflict, well, that's your first step to success. So how in the world do we bridge that gap? Don't worry, we've got a roadmap for this whole gardener's quest. We're going to start with building the perfect foundation. Then we'll get into the daily rituals, master the art of pruning, learn how to fight off the bad guys, and wrap it all up with some game-changing secrets to success.
Let's kick things off with the perfect foundation. I mean, ask any great builder or gardener and they'll tell you the same thing. If you get the base right, you've pretty much won half the battle already. And for us, that means mastering the big three: soil, sun, and air.
You know, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? You hear it all the time, that roses are needy, that they're a medicine jar needing constant spraying, or a fertilizer jar needing constant feeding. But here's the thing. If you create the right environment from the get-go, the need for all that stuff just plummets. The environment, it truly is king.
So what does that perfect environment look like? Well, it starts underground with the soil. And you can honestly think of it like a recipe. First, you need some granular soil for structure. Then you mix in organic matter for nutrients. And this last part is absolutely crucial in a rainy place. You need something for aeration, like perlite, to make sure you have amazing drainage. Because soggy soil means root rot, and that's the silent killer of so many roses.
Next up is light. And look, this one is completely non-negotiable. Your rose has to have, at a minimum, 4 to 6 hours of direct sun every single day. No sun equals weak, floppy stems, no flowers, and a plant that's just begging for disease. But, and here's the Taiwan twist, that brutal midday sun in July and August can literally scorch your plant. So providing a little shade during those peak hours is a really smart move.
And that leads me to what might be the single biggest, most overlooked secret to growing roses in a humid climate: ventilation. Seriously. Good airflow is your #1 defense against all those fungal diseases that just love damp, stagnant air. So whatever you do, don't crowd your plants. Give each rose a little personal space to breathe.
All right, our foundation is solid. Now it's time to talk about the rhythm of daily care, those ongoing rituals of watering and feeding that are going to keep your plant healthy and happy.
If you only remember one thing about watering, please let it be this mantra: see dry, see wet. It's such a simple but brilliant idea. It just means you wait until the surface of the soil is actually dry to the touch, and then you water it really, really well until you see water draining out the bottom. It's the perfect way to avoid both over- and underwatering.
And to really put that mantra into action, here are the simple rules. You always want to water in the morning. That gives the plant the whole day to drink it up. And you always water the soil directly, not the leaves. Wet leaves, especially if they stay wet overnight, are just a welcome mat for black spot fungus, one of our biggest enemies.
And right alongside our watering mantra, we've got a feeding philosophy: light fertilizer applied often. See, roses are hungry plants. They're heavy feeders and need a lot of fuel to make those beautiful flowers, but they're also kind of sensitive. If you just dump a bunch of fertilizer on them at once, you're going to burn their roots. So timing is everything. During the growing seasons, spring and fall, go ahead and give them a light dose of liquid fertilizer every week or two. But listen up, because this is so important for a hot climate. When the summer heat really kicks in and the plant goes dormant, you have to stop feeding it. Its metabolism slows way down, and any fertilizer you add is just going to sit there and burn the roots.
Okay, foundation is set, daily rituals are in place. Now for the fun part, the art of the prune. And this isn't just about chopping back your plant, it's a real skill. It's about shaping its future, encouraging it to grow more branches, which of course means more flowers. For the most part, you're going to have two main approaches. In the cool of winter, that's when you do a hard prune. You cut the whole plant back by half, maybe even 2/3. Think of it as a total reset that forces all this amazing new growth in the spring. Then, the rest of the year, after a flower dies off, you just do a light trim, a little snip here and there to save energy and keep it looking tidy. So you can do everything right, and you're still going to face some challenges. That's just part of gardening. So this next part is all about confronting those common foes. You gotta know your enemy to beat them.
And here are the top 3 villains you're most likely to see. First, black spot. It's a fungus that adores humidity. Your best defense, great ventilation and pulling off any infected leaves immediately. Then you've got spider mites. These tiny pests that show up when it's hot and dry. The easiest defense is to just blast the undersides of the leaves with a jet of water. And finally, thrips. These little guys mess up the flower buds. For them, traps and specific insecticides are going to be your best bet.
Which brings us to the final leg of our quest. We've covered all the hard work, so now let's talk about the secrets, the things that let you work smarter, not harder, and make success not just a possibility, but a real probability.
Okay, this might be the biggest secret of them all. Choose your champions wisely. Seriously, don't try to fight the climate, work with it. Picking rose varieties that are already known to be resistant to heat and disease is the single best decision you can make. There are a bunch of proven winners out there for both small balconies and big gardens. Do a little research and pick a rose that's already set up to win where you live.
But even with the toughest rose variety, the Taiwan summer is, well, it's brutal. It's a true test of survival. And so there is one final, absolutely critical piece of advice to help you and your rose get through it. This might be the most important tip of the entire guide. And here it is. I know, it sounds completely backward, doesn't it? To save your rose, you have to stop it from doing the one thing you bought it for: blooming.
We're going to call this summer survival mode. Basically, from about June through September, your job is to walk out there and pinch off every single flower bud as soon as you see it forming. Why on earth would you do that? Because making a flower takes a massive amount of energy. By stopping it, you let the plant redirect all of that energy into one thing: surviving the heat. It's a strategic sacrifice now for a spectacular explosion of flowers when the cool weather of autumn returns.
So, there you have it, the complete game plan for taming the rose in a really tough climate. Is it a challenge? Oh, for sure. But is it impossible? Absolutely not. You have the knowledge now, you have the strategy. The only question left is, are you ready to start your rose quest?